Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Michelle Pewlin. I'm the Communications Manager for CDOT Region 2, and I'd like to turn the mic over to our Master of Ceremonies at this time, Miss Karen Rowe.
Thank you. It's we picked this day, you know, because we knew we'd have such great weather. So we did what we could to make this as pleasurable as possible. I just can't believe that so much time has flown past. I think it was May 2015 that I was here for the groundbreaking ceremony, and with the same round of people, pretty much starting this project. So it's a pretty exciting day. It was a little bit nicer at that time. But we have a much nicer interchange behind us now. So welcome. This is the ceremony for our I-25 Cimarron Design-Build interchange construction, US 24 and I-25, some critical intersections in our area here. So I'm Karen Rowe. I'm the Director of Transportation for Region 2 CDOT. That's 14 counties in southeast Colorado. And I'm really proud. Really, this project is my team's set of work, and I just get to be part of the project and part of the glory, and so it's really pretty exciting. Everyone here today is a very important person to having this project be completed, and has been part of that process, and been part of the team, and been part of the success that we've seen. So first I'd like to represent, I'm going to go through a list of recognitions. I'd like people to raise their hands when I say their names or what group you may be from. I'd first like to talk about our elected officials that are here. Is Norm Steen, Teller County. Mayor of Manitou Springs, Nicole Nicoletta. Okay. City of Woodland Park Mayor Neil Levy. Senator Cory Gardner's office, Samantha Gunther. Senator Michael Bennett's office, Annie Oatman Gardner. Congressman Doug Lamborn's office, Dean Miller and Dale Anderson. Senator Michael Merrifield. And Representative Pete Lee. Back there. Sharon Thompson from the town of Fountain City Council. She's back there. City of Colorado Springs City Council members, Jill Gabler, Bill Murray, Andy Pico, there's Andy, and El Paso County Board of County Commissioners, Lijonos Gonzalez, he's in the middle over there, Peggy Littleton, Stan Vanderwerf, and Mark Waller. So our speakers today are all sitting up here. We have our currently CDOT Deputy Executive Director, Mike Lewis, and Federal Highway Administration Colorado Division Administrator, John Cater, City of Colorado Springs Mayor, the Honorable Mayor John Suthers, El Paso County Commissioner Stan Vanderwerf, and Transportation Commissioner Rocky Scott. These are key people who've helped us get the funding support of the project, and without it, it wouldn't have moved forward. But we have many other organizations and people that have made this project a success. So I'd like to talk about our project agency partners. And so people that without these organizations, the project wouldn't have happened or wouldn't have been quite as successful. We were all together towards the same goals to make sure that this moved forward in a positive manner. So for Federal Highway Administration, do we have anyone else from FHWA? City of Colorado Springs. So if you're from City of Colorado Springs, a staff person, anyone? I saw Kathleen. She's over there. All right. El Paso County. And I saw Jennifer Irvin around too. So anybody from the Pikes Peak Area Council of Governments, board or staff? All right. So again, they set the direction for transportation projects in the area. The project also involved numerous community members who gave valuable time and input. They served on the Executive Oversight Committee, the Working Team Stakeholder Committee, the Aesthetics Trails Park Committee. And so please raise your hands if you are part of those committees and early on setting the goals. So I see Sally Clark back there too, former El Paso County Commissioner. She was key in getting the project moving forward. So can you, so these individuals really did help set the goals. The goals are in your programs. And again, it was key to what we wanted to get out of this project. The design, the aesthetics, the traffic movement, the positive partnerships with the community, and I really think that's what we have accomplished with this project. So can you please give a round of applause for all those partners? And so now I'm here to recognize the people who helped oversee the project, helped get the project constructed. We have people from the CDOT Region 2, and we partnered and we hired the consultant team to come together. We really were one team. So raise your hand if you're part of CDOT or the consultant team. And last but not, but probably the most important key player in this project, this is called Design-Build, meaning that the designer, the design engineering firm, and the contractor who's building it work together. So we hire them as a team, and they're designing it and building it kind of at the same time. And so we get a faster, better product out of it. And so the contractor design-build team was Kraemer North America and TSH. Please raise your hand. You're from those teams. So this is a great project to show what teamwork can do and partnership can do. I know we have many other things that we need to partner on to get our transportation system the best it can be. Right, and then this interchange at Cimarron and US 24 at 25 has had an unveiling recently. It was dedicated in honor of U.S. Navy veteran, World War II Pearl Harbor survivor and local residents, Lieutenant James Downing. Lieutenant Jim Downing is unable to be here today as he's in Washington, D.C. at the American Veterans Center's American Valor Conference, speaking at a panel entitled Legends of World War II. On his behalf, I would like to recognize Jim's two sons, Don and Joe Downing, who are here today. And really, being part of the Colorado Springs community is being part of a military community. We have 5 installations here, numerous active duty military, and lots of veterans. Would anyone here today who's a veteran of any branch of the armed services, please stand so we can honor you for your service. Thank you. I know Veterans Day is coming up, and it always warms my heart that we really do honor and recognize those who have served. So, and I'm surprised at how many people I saw I just didn't know were veterans of those services. We're also fortunate as this community to have the Colorado Springs Conservatory. I heard that they wrote a song for our project. And they're just located east of here, and they're always inspiring, motivating, and challenging our youth to become artists and better parts of our community. So it's a really great organization that helps our community arts and talents. So please stand while we sing the national anthem led by the Colorado Springs Conservatory students. Where's our flag? Here it is. Thank you. Thanks to Linda Weiss, the Conservatory Executive Director. We appreciate to have your students today, and we appreciate their talents and creativity. So we're at the Colorado Springs is a growing community and a wonderful community. I-25 Cimarron Interchange is a major. They are now? Oh, okay. So they do have a song that they have created that they would like to sing for us now. I wasn't sure if it was now or later. So let's listen to the creative I-25 Interchange song. Ballad, sorry.
In the mighty state of Colorado, at the base of the Rocky Mountains, lay a ribbon of highway running north to south. The scenery is astounding, and the scenery, it is astounding. They call this road I-25, from Wyoming to Raton Pass. The cars from town to town, they went up and they went down. 60s construction was first class. In the 60s, construction was first class. Well, more people moved to this great state since the highway was first built. Lanes, they were added, and shoulders, they were padded, just like a Rocky Mountain quilt. A city that lay along the Front Range got its share of CDOT loving, from Fort Collins and the Rams to the Denver traffic jams. Winter freezes and summer oven. Winter freezes, summer oven. Well, the road took a beating o'er the years. No shortage of orange cone zones. The bridges made stronger and on-ramps became longer. Moved steel girders and concrete and lots of stone. Oh, moved steel girders, concrete, and lots of stone. When CDOT came to the base of Pikes Peak, Olympic City, USA, Colorado Springs exits were suffering terribly. I-25 was in decay. First was Academy, North Nevada, and Bijou. Each part of the city got its due. But what about Cimarron? The people exclaim. The gateway to our downtown, we cannot be ashamed. Oh, the interchange needed love more than the others. It's time to proclaim the Honorable Mayor John Suthers. Get out the orange cones and set out the alerts. CDOT's moving some major dirt.
I-25 Cimarron Interchange. Trails and the roads are rearranged. So folks can play in Olympic City, USA, and CDOT is king all day. The was great. It's hard to follow that. I don't know. I've never seen like CDOT and construction presented in such a pleasurable way, you know? I don't know. That takes talent. So thank you. That was wonderful. That was really cool. I want to buy that recording later if anyone has it on their iPhone. So yeah, this interchange, they mentioned it in the song, built in the 60s. It was first built in 1959. We started buying right-of-way for it in 2013 or 2010, I think. And then we pulled enough money together, and 2013 the city and the county submitted an application from CDOT called the RAMP, Responsible Acceleration of Maintenance and Partnerships, where CDOT said, hey, we have a little bit of money. If you can bring a little bit to the table, we'll get you something. And so this is what came out of it, was this project was one of the major things. Old Ranch Road, Fillmore, and this were the major partnership projects in the Colorado Springs area. And so it's pretty exciting that we're here today to see it. I don't want to take up too much of the time. I know it's cold, and I know all of our speakers have lots of information to share. And I think in line with those partnerships, I would like to introduce my boss and CDOT's Deputy Executive Director. However, by the end of the year, he'll be our Executive Director. Shailen Bhatt has announced his exit from CDOT onto other opportunities in Washington, D.C. So with that, join me in welcoming Mike Lewis.
Thank you, Karen. And I am proud to be here representing Shailen, who is actually in D.C. today. And yes, he is actually decided to move on. He's had a great opportunity in Washington, advancing some of the things that he has started here in Colorado, and that's intelligent transportation systems, using more technology to get more capacity out of our highways and our transportation system. So Shailen is going to be a great leader in Washington and around the globe with that. So I can't say enough about our partnership, his leadership, and the spirit that he brought to CDOT. So he'll be missed, but life will go on. Right, Rocky? I have got to say, I've been doing this similar to this for about 33 years, and they never sang to me like that in Boston. I will tell you that. Karen did a great job, and Karen Rowe is a wonderful RTD for Region 2 and for all of CDOT, and she brings a wealth of knowledge and expertise to the table, and it's a great team that we have, getting the expertise from different people, different backgrounds, in order to make, as Shailen tasked us all with, making CDOT the best DOT in the country. And I would say we aren't there, but we're on our way to being there. It may be an unattainable goal, but it's a goal that we're always going to strive for. And this project is a great example of what we can do together so that we can put CDOT on the map as being the best DOT. And I think that's the theme I'm going to talk about today. Karen did a great job of introducing everybody and thanking the people that were involved. And you know that a project like this takes so many people at different levels, different organizations, from our elected officials to the neighborhood groups, to the contractors, the designers, our federal partners, everybody working together for a common goal. And I as we were singing the national anthem, I couldn't help but notice your billboard up there, and I think that's a great testament to the project. When I came on in May of 15, and this was sort of at the bid stage, I think, at that time, Karen, and there was a lot of trepidation about such a large project, going design-build. There were questions about that contract methodology. There are obviously concerns about disruptions. Anytime you do a project like this, there are going to be disruptions, but I think the spirit of cooperation between CDOT, the contractor, the Springs, the county, all the players that saw this project as for what its potential could be, which was a new front door to the Springs. And I think that's so important, because not only do we provide transportation improvements, but it's not about so much the transportation improvements, it's about the people that use it and the context within which those improvements are made. These are some of our transportation investments, are some of the longest lasting things, infrastructure that we do as a society. And it should be built in a way that we can be proud of, that fits into the context of where that improvement is being made, because it needs to benefit not just people that are driving through it, commuters that may not even know where they are, or people that are passing through the state. It says something about the community with which it is in. This is going to be here in a configuration like this for 100 years, and we need to be proud of it. And I want a shout out to all of you at the local level, the project level, the designers, that put the effort into making this project the success that it is, because I think it does fit the needs of the city, and I think everybody should be very proud of their involvement in that. Now this is, and I also pointed out that when we do a project like this, it is inevitably going to cause disruption. There are people that are going to be inconvenienced by it. It's dusty, it's noisy. You never know quite what your traffic route is going to be the next morning when you go to work. And we need to recognize that. And I think that this project team recognized that. I think the community recognized that and gave us a pass sometimes, Mayor Southers, when things perhaps didn't go as well as planned. But when we all get together and say, what's in the best interest of the people that use this, then it succeeds. We have a philosophy that we are introducing at CDOT with our contracting partners, and we call it Project First. And the whole idea about that philosophy is when we are engaged in a project, and inevitably things come up. There are challenges. There are things that you didn't think of. But if we, instead of separating into our corners and getting defensive, if everybody comes in with an attitude of what is in the best interest of this project, of moving it forward, of addressing the needs of the people that are being impacted, if we have that hat on, we're going to solve the problem more efficiently. We're going to get it moved on more quickly, and the end result will be better. And I want to shout out to all the project team, Tim Maloney from Kraemer, and everybody at the project that really took that philosophy to heart. Because we had our meetings, we had our problems, but if we all got together and said, what do we need to do to solve this problem so we can get to the end of this project, that's what we did. And congratulations to everybody that was engaged in that. I'm going to end by saying, we're not done, right? This is great, but we all know there are so many more needs in our transportation system in Colorado, here in the Springs, in El Paso County, and across the entire state. I came down this morning from Denver. I made sure that I beat the snow, but I drove the gap. I drove I-25 gap. Now, I was very fortunate. There wasn't a crash before I came down. There wasn't a snow event. It was mid-morning, so it was probably at the lowest travel time, but that's rare, isn't it? How many people, when they're driving between the Springs and Denver, are free sailing and not have to worry about that route? That's a big problem. I'm not of Colorado. I've been here for a couple of years, 2.5 years, but I am amazed that the two largest population centers in the state, the capital city of Denver, the second largest population center, Colorado Springs, are connected by a rural 2-lane highway. And that shouldn't be. And I think the mayor, other leaders in the county, CDOT, the governor, we're all saying this can't stand. We have to do something about this together. And we are. And I think we're very positive by working together, using the model that we have out here, that working together, we can achieve that goal and we can achieve others. Funding is always going to be a challenge. And I've been in this business for a long time. We are never going to have all of the money we need. Sorry. And that's probably a good thing, because if transportation is getting all the money it needs, there's something else that is not getting the money it needs. But we have to keep fighting for the resources to make these improvements that make such a difference on a local economy, on the state's economy, because that's what drives, I say that transportation departments exist for two reasons. One is to support the economic vitality of whatever jurisdiction you're in, whether it's a village, a town, city, county, state, the country. We are here, we do this because we're supporting economic vitality. And the second reason we exist is to support the quality of life of the people that live here. And you can't have one without the other. We have to think of both. And that's why we need to, together, work on investment strategies for Colorado's transportation to maintain that economic vitality that we are experiencing now, and to maintain the quality of life that all of you that live here in Colorado cherish. So with that, we have a lot of work ahead of us. I think we've built a philosophy of teamwork that is evidenced by this project. And I think working together, we can do that for the Springs, for El Paso County, for the state, because of all the other needs, the unmet needs that we see in front of us. It's not going to be easy, but I think, again, with that spirit of partnership, with that spirit of project first, we're going to get there together. So thank you very much, and congratulations to everybody that was involved in this project. It's a huge success. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Also, one of our partners here is from FHWA. It's John Cater. He is the Colorado Division Leader for the Federal Highway Administration. Thank you to John Cater.
Thank you, Karen. Last time I was in this park was a couple years ago, and I remember it was a very hot day, and we had a groundbreaking ceremony just over here for our project. And we didn't quite know what it was going to look like. We weren't sure what it was going to look like exactly. We all had things in our head and ideas, but I think it's turned out tremendously. I think it works better than I even hoped for, and so it's great to be here and celebrate the accomplishments of the design-build team and everybody who was involved. So again, excited about this project. This has been one of the biggest projects we've had going on in the state here recently. It's over $100 million. I think it was 115 was the number, but it's a much better connection now between I-25, US 24 going west, and not only within the community, but the other parts of Colorado and beyond. So I think we need to remember these projects, that it's not just a local connection, but it's the travelers more broadly that are part of that as well. When we do a project, I think there's 5 things that I'd like to see be a key part of those projects, and they are safety, innovation, environmental stewardship and improvement, minimizing the impact on the public while we're doing it, and quality. And so just to touch on each of those really quick, I think safety, we've done a tremendous job with this project. There's so many things. One thing that hit me right away is improving the alignment on I-25. That was always a pretty sharp curve on I-25, and being able to flatten that out and make that a little safer, widening it out, that's a tremendous improvement. It's going to save not only fender benders, but more serious accidents as well. So I think that's a great improvement there. We've got a better interchange design here. We can move traffic more efficiently, more effectively, reduce the backups, traffic flows better, reduce delays. Again, that's safer, not having those long queues and people not expecting those and so forth. And finally, we've got better sight distance, better visibility, and we've got longer ramps too. So if there is backup, you've got better storage so it doesn't back up onto the highway or back up Highway 24 a ways. So wider, better, flatter curves, that's all good stuff for safety. Kraemer. Some key things that were, design-build lends itself to some innovations right off the bat. And one of the ones was that by the phasing that Kraemer and the team was able to do, we allowed the crews to do a lot of work off of I-25 before they had to actually get up on I-25 and touch that and impact the traveling public up there. So that's a safer thing there. It also improved the efficiency of the project, got the work done faster and in a safer and a more efficient manner. So that was great to see. There were some long-term ramp closures that were originally thought to have to be necessary as part of the project. That turns out didn't need to be full closures that way. And so that was, again, less impact to the public and a sign of innovation by the contractor that was able to build the project in a different way and still bring it in on time. And that's tremendous. Another aspect that came out of the design-build approach was coming up with a connection between Highway 24 and 8th Street. That eliminated a lot of backups during construction and greatly improved the efficiency of the intersection and the roadway as well. So again, a creativity that was part of the package by the contractor. And finally, some improvements to Upper Fountain Creek. Some rehabilitation things there, as well as we were able to replace a bridge up on Fountain Creek as well that wasn't originally part of the package, as part of an innovation proposed by Kraemer. So great thing there. We did have several environmental improvements as part of this project. Colorado Parks and Wildlife was involved, Colorado Springs City Parks, lots of revegetation, improvements to the channel, improvements to the riparian areas, a lot of good things that 5, 10, 15 years from now, when the project is kind of forgotten, you'll still be seeing those and enjoying those as part of the change in the character of the area here. Lots of landscaping as we get through, spring comes and we get to green things up next spring. There's going to be a lot of green improvements you're going to see. And there's a 1-year landscape establishment period. So even if some things don't work, there's a commitment that we're going to go in, fix them, and make it right so we do get the vegetation and stuff that we need. as I mentioned, there's a lot of improvements to minimize the delays to the public. And as Mike alluded to, when you do a project of this scale, there's going to be some impact on the public, and we try to minimize that. Some of it's unavoidable. We were able to minimize those ramp closures. Design-Build was able to minimize some of the phasing, so it was an improvement there. And finally, quality. And I think we've seen quality throughout this job. One thing that may not have realized was the embankments that we had to build for the earth embankments. They were given extra time to settle, so they settled up front before they had paving and traffic on them, instead of having that happen afterwards and getting some dips and so forth. So I think we did a good thing there. And just better communication and efficiencies between the crew and the team helped lead to quality improvements throughout the project. I can honestly say I think we've met all 5 of these priorities. And a lot of that's a result of partnering. And as others have alluded to, it takes everybody involved. It takes the contractor, it takes the state, the city, the federal agencies, the other state agencies, and on it goes. There's so many parties and players that have a piece of this, and for everybody coming together with a common goal to do it right and make it as good as it can be, lends benefits and dividends to everybody. So a great project. We're excited to have been part of it, and great to see it open and functioning well. So thank you.
Thank you, John. So this project, I live close by here. My office is in Pueblo. However, I live nearby here, and sometimes that's a good or bad thing, right? So you have your boss drive through every day, and you get called when you see a sign or wrong. And I know our honorable Mayor Southers here lives nearby too, but I'd always get the compliments. He'd always be like, "I love that Cimarron project. I travel through and just love it." So with that, here's our Mayor, John Southers.
Well, thank you, Karen. I have to tell you, I feel so fortunate to be the only public official here today whose name rhymes with others. That's how you get mentioned in the ballad of the I-25 Cimarron Interchange. Folks, today we celebrate the long-awaited completion of the I-25 Cimarron Interchange. With its improved aesthetics and overall safety and capacity improvements, this is now a very fitting gateway into Colorado Springs, Olympic City, USA. It also provides a much better pathway to the mountains and the neighboring communities to the west. This new gateway showcases several new additions taking place in our city that reinforces our identity as Olympic City, USA. Immediately to our west, we see the future site of the United States Olympic Museum, which will be the only one of its kind in the United States. You also see a connection to the Legacy Loop, a 10-mile continuous trail system that fulfills General William Palmer's vision of a ring around the center of Colorado Springs. There will also be several new housing and retail developments, which will contribute to our vibrant downtown core. The creek and trail improvements are a great example of how transportation infrastructure can function well for all travelers. As a city renowned for its outdoor recreation opportunities, it's only fitting that we provide a scenic gateway for people in cars, on bikes, and on foot. The project team exceeded expectations, providing a top-quality interchange featuring improved trail connectivity and connections to downtown and other parts of the city, all with aesthetic treatments along the way. This team reconstructed approximately 2,100 feet of the upper Fountain Creek, stabilizing the creek and enhancing its habitat. You will notice, if you walk down the way here, the fish panel design on the abutment retaining walls under the bridge that run along the trail. They're not just functional, but are also works of art depicting the aquatic life of our creeks. This project would not have come to fruition if not for the impressive and extensive collaboration of numerous governmental agencies, which has been commented on here today. Necessary funding for the project was secured between the Colorado Department of Transportation, the Pikes Peak Area Council of Government member entities, and the Transportation Commission that enabled the project to move ahead. Colorado Springs Utilities provided relocation of utilities. The city's Traffic Management Center and project partners manage traffic flow and closures to minimize impacts to motorists and local businesses. And as Karen indicated, I went through this intersection about 3 or 4 times a day and felt incredibly minimal amount of disruption. I thought, given the size of the project, it was absolutely marvelously done. This project, so vital to our local economy, epitomizes how our collective transportation funding and a commitment to work together results in an end product that benefits everyone. I extend my sincere thanks and appreciation to the Federal Highway Administration, to CDOT, special thanks to Shaylin and Karen, and Mike, so nice to have you down here today. The Kraemer TSH team did a fantastic job, the staffs at the City of Colorado Springs and El Paso County for their yeoman efforts to deliver to our citizens a proud entryway to Olympic City, USA. Thanks, one and all.
Thank you, Mayor. Now it's my honor to introduce our El Paso County Commissioner, Mr. Vanderwerf.
Thank you very much, Karen. Do we have a wonderful community or what? I mean, we actually write songs about bridge construction. Is that amazing? Our community just continues to amaze me, and I'm just proud to be part of this. And so hello to everyone here. An efficient transportation infrastructure is critical to any community, and ours is no exception. This interchange is arguably the most important one in our region, and it's already bringing increased safety and economic benefits by reducing accidents and injuries while also reducing wait times, and that increases our citizens' productivity, and this is very important. We appreciate how important transportation is to our region, and this project is a shining example of partnering between transportation agencies and our community to get a massive project designed and constructed. The Pikes Peak Area Council of Governments member entities, of which El Paso County is a member, came together and submitted an application to get this giant project funded, and this kind of partnering is an outstanding example of how to fund impactful projects that benefit our entire region. In a similar way, I appreciate the developing local, state, and federal partnerships critical to ultimately funding the widening of I-25 on the north end of our county. Partnerships work, and achieving the completion of this bridge is a fine example of the success that partnerships can bring. I applaud CDOT and the project team for involving the agency's partners and community stakeholders during the early stages of design. You kept us involved and informed throughout the construction. I saw that personally at PPACG and PPRTA meetings, and I appreciate it. And it means a lot to our citizens and to me. I also applaud all who worked on this project over the last 31 months, design construction, for minimizing the construction impacts, as we have heard several times, and for keeping the project moving, for commitment to the partnering to our community, and for delivering an outstanding product. And I applaud the investors of this project. The citizens of our community who both supported this effort, have been patient during its construction, and authorized the use of their taxpayer money in order to get this completed. So thanks to the citizens as well. As a prominent gateway, this project is well on its way to benefiting our citizens, businesses, and traveling public, and also will enhance our tourism industry and generate increased economic value for all. On behalf of the citizens of El Paso County, thank you everyone that's been involved in this project for the great work that you've done. Appreciate that, and have a great day. And I'm looking forward to the next great song. I hope there's another one coming soon. All right.
Thank you, Commissioner. So we go from El Paso County Commissioner to our Transportation Commissioner. But first, I'd like to say that we started off on this project with the funding with our Transportation Commissioner, Les Gruen, who's here. And then Nolan Schreiner is here also. He was a commissioner for a year. And now we have our Transportation Commissioner for District 9, Mr. Rocky Scott.
Thank you, Karen. I'm profoundly mindful of the fact that I'm the last major speaker between you and a warm car. So this will truly be short. First, emphasizing the comments that John Cater was making, safety is CDOT's #1 priority. And over the next 100 years, as Mike was saying, the number of people who will not have to suffer the anguish of the results of accidents and fatalities and the like that certainly would have occurred without this improvement, I think it isn't the people that here benefit, it's the people that we serve. Secondly, I've served this community up, almost probably a little over 20 years in economic development. What I know is economic infrastructure is essential to the prosperity of a community. And this kind of infrastructure, which is actually, if you don't build it, it's an obstacle to prosperity. Having built it, it's now not only a wonderful tool, but as Mayor Southers mentioned, a wonderful gateway into the community. And then lastly, we all know that many of the people who are responsible for planting the seeds and building the foundation upon which this project were built haven't been recognized sufficiently. And many of whom I'm sure are not here, but again, for the commissioners who preceded me on the State Transportation Commission, thank you for your good work, Les and Nolan, and congratulations to the team for a fine, fine job.
Thank you, Commissioner. It's been a pleasure to work with you and with the past commissioners. So now we just have a little bit of ceremonial items. So we are going to see on this trail behind me, we have representatives of the community, and they're going to ride their bike towards us, and they're going to cut the ribbon, officially open the new Midland Trail connection and the pedestrian bridges. So there's a ribbon there. So we will have Bike Colorado Springs Engagement Director Alan Beauchamp, sorry. I botched that one. City of Colorado Springs Bicycle Planner Kate Brady, Trails and Open Space Coalition Executive Director Susan Davies, El Paso County Parks Planner Ross Williams, and Cara Winger, Olympian. So with your applause, please join me in thanking these bicycle riders who not only represent the project's working team and Olympians and Aesthetics Park, but also members of our community.